Welcome back, everybody. It is Crypto Moose, and the moose is loose. What we're going to do is talk a little bit about Bitcoin. I know we talk a lot about Cardano here on the channel, and what we're going to do is specifically go over a little bit of BlackRock, and apparently they've filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So we'll get into what that is, what that means, and I'll give you my opinions on it. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 26,336 US dollars. We'll even hit it with a quick refresh. So Bitcoin on the year. Let's see year to date. This should be pretty close, right? So you have June of last year. So within a year, you'd be doing decent on Bitcoin. That's still pretty good. You'd be up 5,000-6,000 total. Of course, on the old time, you would be doing well. So BlackRock, what they are is a multinational investment company based in New York. So I've gone through a book before. There's an audio book, and it was Stephen A. Schwartzman. That's the guy. So he's one of the BlackRock guys, and it's very interesting. That guy was very competitive, very intelligent. I know he was like a runner at university, and he's basically one of the founders of BlackRock. I wonder if I could even Google them real quick. So we'll do some of this on a different page as well. So BlackRock, they have $10 trillion worth of assets under management, and that's a big deal. You're talking about 10 trillion. This isn't 5 billion, this is 10 trillion. So if you take a look at BlackRock here, top 50 BlackRock holdings. So Apple's a big holding for them. They're into the space. They're into the tech space. I believe they do already have a blockchain ETF, something of those sorts as well. So we'll get into that briefly. But here's one of the articles I want to talk about. BlackRock files for spot Bitcoin ETF with Coinbase as crypto custodian. So this is a big deal because right now it's very difficult for investors, especially if you're a little bit older, and if you're not equipped with getting into cryptos, if you're not subscribed to Crypto Moose, which is an absolute mistake, right? I mean, subscribing to Crypto Moose, it'll get you from dating a 6 to dating a 9 or a 10. It's going to get you from making $100 a month to 10,000 a month. Not financial advice. Not saying these things are true for everybody, but I tend to hear these things. So BlackRock, they have so much under management. And for a company like that to get into crypto, they are going to be leading the charge, right? So the SEC, they currently, I believe it was probably just 4 or 5 days ago, they sued Coinbase and Binance. So running as unregistered security exchanges here. But what's weird though is that Coinbase, they've been asking for regulation along the way. So they even went public and there was no issues, right? So they had their initial public offering, their IPO, and everything was fine. But now things aren't. So this is a big deal. So if you take a look here, ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. And I don't know if this is going to be the name of what this is or not. So BlackRock has already, let's see here. So BlackRock has already as an equity fund related crypto. So iShares blockchain ETF. So let's click on this as well. So right now they already have an iShares. So they have a lot of ETFs, right? So that'll be like a basket of different companies that they own. So a lot of times instead of in investing, if you're looking to invest, an ETF is nice because if one company goes down, you lose everything with just getting one stock. But if you get an ETF, you're getting a basket. So that's what companies like BlackRock would rather have as well. Because if you have $10 trillion, your first assessment would be, how am I going to make sure that I don't lose any money? So that's a big thing. It's kind of like if you were to get into cryptos and you look at the different cryptocurrencies, well, if you just get Ethereum and if Ethereum fails, you lose everything. Whereas if you get a basket of ETH, Cardano, Bitcoin, Cardano, Cardano-based projects, or you get Solana and you get a basket of everything, then you're going to be much more diverse and protected. And of course, I'm not a huge fan of being over diversified, because then you're kind of just getting everything and, throwing darts at, in the dark, and it doesn't make sense in my eyes. But you do want to make sure that, for example, if you only have Bitcoin, if you only have Ethereum, if you only have XRP, well, your exposure isn't diversified enough. So definitely have some form of exposure to different assets. We talk about it here on the channel, not financial advice, but I show you what I do. So for example, I have a ton of Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin fails, it's not going to be good for the rest of the market anyways. And then if you have some stable coins like USDC, not Tether, it's probably a good idea as well. And over time, I mean, it looks like this one's been performing well. This is the NASDAQ. So there's all these different kind of ETFs going on. But specifically BlackRock, if this happens, this is going to be a really big deal. And I mean, their share price is ridiculous. They own so much. I mean, even if you look at the past 5 years, you would have done what, 34%? Doesn't sound like much, but you do have dividends as well. So you have a 3% dividend, which isn't bad. And this is just more of a long-term approach, right? So year to date, you'd be down. But I mean, if you look at the max, I mean, this company owns quite a bit. I assume they own probably more than anybody else, really. So BlackRock delves deeper into crypto with the push for Bitcoin ETF. So that's what I've been hearing. Been hearing a lot of that. That's Larry Fink, I believe. Yep, Larry Fink. So him and Steven Schwartzman, they are pretty much the founders, I believe, of BlackRock. So this is going to be interesting, and I've heard him talk about having utilizing the blockchain more, especially for managing and trading assets. And it makes sense, because if everything can be verified and managed on the blockchain, and you would have more transparency. It really does make sense to me. It really does. And this is a big step, especially for the future of Bitcoin, right? If companies that own 10 trillion in assets, if they just take up 4 or 5% of that, you're talking about a much higher market cap as well. So going forward, I think it's going to be great. So let's see what let's see if there are any little quotes here or something we could take here as well. And again, comment down below what you guys think about this news. Maybe it's not a big deal in your eyes, but to me, I think it's a pretty big deal. I think this is a really big deal. We want big companies in the US and in Canada, in my case, to get into cryptocurrencies. And I do believe, and right now you have 4 US candidates who are running and who are in support of blockchain into Bitcoin, right? So definitely comment down below. Just wanted to give a little update. This could be a big deal. This is probably going to be the headline or title for this episode. Just trying to get you guys something quick. I also just did an interview with the CEO of ViFi, so that's V-Finance. I still don't know exactly if it's ViFi, V-Finance. He says that it's just ViFi. So anyways, we have a really awesome interview coming out really soon. So definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, just search whatever you want here. We have videos on pretty much how to set up the majority of Cardano-based wallets and how to get started. This is a great episode for you. New to crypto, I share with you 5 simple steps to get started. So that being said, the moose is loose and the moose is out.